Everyone thinks they know Donald Trump. Trump real estate, Trump TV shows, his personality and politics. But do you know where it all started? There is a true story behind Donald Trump's wealth, successes and failures. A story that began a century ago with Trump's grandfather, Frederick Trump. It can be understood that your property is boiling like blood in their veins. Frederick was the first Trump to own a hotel. During the Klondike Gold Rush in Canada, he established an inn and restaurant to cater for miners. When he died, he left a legacy of about $500,000 to his heirs. His eldest son, Fred Trump, continued his family business by using his inheritance and partnering with his mother. Fred became one of the most successful builders of the suburbs of New York. He built houses in the Queens area in 1920. During the recession, he helped the first supermarket makers through the Trump market. He even built barracks for the Navy during World War II. But Fred Trump made his fortune in 1949 with a loan to build Shore Haven Apartments in Brooklyn. He borrowed $10.3 million. But he was able to build apartments at much lower prices, and the government continued to provide loans to build Brooklyn and Queens apartments. Fred Trump was said to have a fortune of $250 million to $300 million at the time of his death in 1999, and according to Donald, his father was one of the largest landowners around New York. Donald Trump was born in Queens and soon joined his father's company. He had another idea for Trump. He wanted Trump's name, like a brand, to be a reminder of luxury around the world. Using his father's business relationship and reputation, Donald entered the Manhattan real estate market in the mid-1970s. He borrowed $1 million from his father to start with. One of Trump's first moves was one of his greatest successes. In 1976, Donald Trump and the Hyatt teamed up to buy the old Commodore Hotel near New York's Grand Central Station. At that time, most of the buildings in the area were mortgaged and sold due to overcrowding. Trump entered into negotiations with city banks to borrow money to renovate the area. And that's how 25 hotel complexes were built, and Trump sold his stake in 1996 for $142 million. Another great achievement of Donald Trump was the 40 Wall Street building, which was once the tallest building in the world. He bought the place for $1 million. But now it is one of the most important and valuable buildings in the world, costing more than $500 million. The trainee TV show was another financial success. Trump raised $1 million for each program as host and executive producer of the project. The program was made in 185 episodes. But like all businessmen, Trump has suffered setbacks. Donald Trump's biggest failure was his failed investment in Atlanta casinos. In 1988, he took over the Taj Mahal Casino. In this misguided investment, the big casino raised $3 billion in debt in its first year alone. With his business on the verge of bankruptcy, he relinquished control of his business, an airline, a 282-foot big boat, and half of his casino. Of course, his father also helped him pay off his debts with a $3.5 million loan. Donald Trump Casinos has gone bankrupt twice. Once in 2004 when it raised $1.8 billion in debt, and again in 2009, when it failed to repay its bonds during the economic crisis. In this way, his stock fell every time. While 3 of his 4 bankruptcies were related to his casinos, he had problems with other investments besides real estate. Trump Airlines, Trump Vodka, Trump Games, Trump Magazine, Trump Stick and Trump University all failed. Mortgage Trump, who was founded in 2006 just before the fall of real estate, also included his failures. Donald Trump says he has more than $10 billion in campaign wealth. But he has been accused of exaggerating his assets. Forbes and Bloomberg have very different statistics on his wealth. According to Forbes, Donald Trump's assets are divided as follows: 7% of Trump's assets, cash and current assets, such as his investments. 8% in golf. 4% in livelihoods, including helicopters, penthouses and Boeing 757. But most of his assets are related to real estate. Manhattan, New York real estate accounts for almost half of its assets. Now you know what the real story behind Donald Trump's wealth was, such as his successes and failures, and the help he received from his father.